Republicans historically ignore African Americans. Black voters are some of the smartest voters in America. This is not, where, they're just giving their votes away. No, African Americans are responding to who is responding to them. And that is on issues such as HBCUs, empowerment zones, school choice, when it comes to issue of criminal justice reform, when it comes to voting rights. Donald Trump will not talk to black journalists because he's going to have to answer to what's happening in North Carolina when it comes to voter suppression. And so my challenge to you, Donald, if you want to talk about black folks, come talk to black folks.
But I just want to remind everybody that this time in 2012, Mitt Romney had 0% of the black vote in an NBC News Wall Street Journal poll. So Donald Trump has made some inroads. Do you think that his current language is going to help come November? Absolutely not.
This has nothing to do with black voters. This is not outreach to black voters. This is outreach to white suburban women. I said this months ago. Donald Trump has had an Amber, Megan, Michaela, Lisa, Pam problem. That is, he is not liked by suburban white women. For Republicans to do well, they must score tremendously among suburban white women. 1998, Republicans lost a significant number of seats in the U.S. House. They retained the House. That was one of the reasons they forced Newt Gingrich out as Speaker of the House. Why? Because polling data showed that white women felt the GOP was too antagonistic towards minorities. 2 years later, Texas Governor George W. Bush runs for president. Compassionate conservatism, different tone. Suburban white women came back to the fold. This is all Kellyanne Conway saying, Donald Trump, if you want to keep suburban white women, you better change your tone towards minorities. Otherwise, you're going to get nailed. This has nothing to do with black voters.
You're saying that the reason why Donald Trump has turned down the NAACP convention invitation or anything from the Urban League or from the NABJ to show up there and talk to minority folks in their own spaces.
Right.
It is evidence that really those speeches that he's giving last night in Akron or elsewhere are really targeting people that could feel okay with voting for him because he believes in minority rights or minority motion?
This is precisely. That's exactly what this is. Here's the deal. President Ronald Reagan, when he ran for president, he spoke to the National Urban League. Vice President George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney, all of them, they have spoken to various groups, NAACP as well. So Donald Trump, I get he didn't speak to the NAACP because his convention was going on in Cincinnati. But the National Urban League is often considered the business-oriented civil rights organization. That was in Baltimore. He could have had a twofer, speaking to a black group in Baltimore, but he chose not to do it. NABJ and NAHJ, black journalists, Hispanic journalists, had their joint convention, chose not to do so. So for him to speak in Wisconsin, in a city 95% white, in Michigan, in a city 93% white, speaking in Akron, largely white audience. So they're saying, oh no, we don't have to speak in front of black people because they're watching the news, so we're speaking to them. This has nothing to do with minority voters. Because remember, you have white women who are saying to their husbands, you are not going to support that guy. They've got their children as well. So Trump has to make them feel comfortable if they're not supporting somebody who's being called a bigot or a racist. I'm not confused by this at all. Not only that, Thomas, when's the last time you've seen Donald Trump sit down with African-American journalists in the black press, black newspapers, folks in radio, television? And so he won't do it. They talk, oh, well, we might do it. He's not going to do it. He has to be challenged to do so. If you want to reach black people, come talk to Tom Joyner, largest urban radio show in America, 8 million listeners. TV One, only black network with a news show. But he will not do it because that means actually having to confront the issues black folks care about on their terms.
I mean, he'll